Another episode of Worth the Calories. Flipping heck. They come round quick. Only seems like a week since I did the last one. It was a week, Neil. Yes, I know that. Just having a little joke. Wasn't funny, Neil. All right, let's crack on. Disclaimer for this one. Might be a little bit shorter than a normal episode. I don't know yet. As I am recording this, basically, depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching it as soon as it's been released or a few days after, I'm on my hollybobs. Now, I normally give myself 4 or 5 days to record different products and then edit, blah, 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 blah. I've got 3 days this week as I'm going on my hollybobs, as I've already said. So, yeah, as it stands, I've got 3 things to review and I'm doing them in one. There will be a couple more, I think, but we'll see where we get to. Anyway, yes, the series where I potentially waste my calories so you don't have to. What are we starting off with today? We've got brand new in Aldi. Protein noodle pots. I can't really hold them all up together. We've got a Katsu style. We've got a sweet chili. And we have got a, I can't pronounce that. Should I have a go? Gochujung, flipping no idea. Anyway, style chicken noodles. Now, I say new in Aldi. I think these are semi-new, and I'll tell you why. January, February this year, there were some noodle pots. Eat and go kind of noodle pots like these that you just ping in the microwave in the sandwich fridge at Aldi, and that's where these are. By a company called Presto. And I either had 1 or 2 of them. I don't think I tried all 3, but they did bring 3 out. So I'm not too sure. But anyway, why I'm saying this was, and it didn't twig until the other day, because I've bought these. I put them on my social media. I always take a picture, put them on Instagram, put them on Facebook. And that company, Presto, liked the post. And that then reminded me, these do seem very similar to the ones that they brought out. Because they pushed very much no additives, no preservatives, things like that. Lots of sort of fresh ingredients, even though it's kind of a ready meal pot. Now, from memory, I think the macros are slightly different. And I don't remember that flavour. I think they brought a red one out, but I think it was like Korean chicken or something like that. Maybe that is Korean flavourings. I don't know. Anyway, that's by the by. So I think these are just those pots rebranded for Aldi. So I think they're made by that company, rebranded for Aldi, and they brought them back out. That's my guess. And I'd put a rather large chunk of money on it that's where we're at. Now, for transparency, so potentially I've tried these before, but I can't remember whether I said they were any good, whether I liked them or not. So I'm kind of starting again. I'm just going to review these on face value. And I'm going to do them one after the other. I'm not going to eat all the pots. Yes, bit of food wastage. I hate wasting food. But like I say, I'm short for time this week. So I'm just going to try them all. So I'm going to have 1 pot, but basically 1 pot split into 3, if that makes sense. So the calories of 1 pot. Anyway, we're going to start off with the Katsu style one. I'm going to go in the order of protein. So Katsu's got the lowest, sweet chili's got medium, and then the Gochujung, flipping no idea, has got the highest. They don't have much protein in them for a protein pot, in all honesty. I mean, it's not bad. Basically, for any product out there, if you're looking at a protein product and you're like, oh, bodybuilders say it should have 10 calories, 1 grams of protein, that's blah, 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 blah. No, right? Absolute nonsense. Yeah, that is if you are trying to, build a ridiculous amount of muscle. That is what we're sort of going for when it comes to foods. I'm a weight loss coach. I'm not a bodybuilding coach. And don't get me wrong. Eating a good amount of protein in a calorie deficit will preserve muscle, absolutely. But the main reason why we do it in a calorie deficit is for satiation, to fill us up. And any product where 20% or more of the calories come from protein, it's classed as a high protein product. That might not ring true for, like I say, bodybuilders that want to eat 300-400 grams of protein a day. But on average in the UK, people struggle to dedicate 10% of their calories to protein. So if you can start doing, start having a few simple swaps where you're dedicating 20% of your calories to protein, you're going to be in a much better place, certainly on a weight loss journey, because protein fills us up. But for me personally, even though these do tick the box where, 21 grams of protein, 80 odd calories, these are about 400 calorie pots, so it does tick that 20% boundary, I would still, for that amount of calories, want a bit more protein. But in all honesty, the calories aren't ridiculous. The 433 calories for 21 grams of protein. So that might seem low, but you do get a reasonable amount of fibre, about 7 grams of fibre. And the pots are a pretty decent size. So we do have to take that into consideration. And if you did want to add some more protein, dead simple, buy some cooked chicken and whack it in a little bit. Anyway, there we go. I've dissected it all. Let's get eating. We're 6 minutes in and you're probably bored already. Anyway, says it takes 2.5 minutes in the microwave. So let's ping it for 2.5 minutes and give it a go. Right, we're back now. From memory, now you're going to hear my microwave whirring. I'll tell you why, because when I bring one out, I'm going to ping the other one because I'm a tiny bit short on time today. Anyway, from memory with the Presto ones, and honestly, I'm so convinced these are the Presto ones. They needed slightly longer. I've given this 3 minutes. So it said 2.5, I've given it 3. What have we got in here? Do you know what? Everything's on the bottom and I can't be arsed picking it up and looking at it. There's carrot, there's green veggies, there's edamame beans, there's noodles, there's chicken. It needs a good mix. Someone did ask on social media, could you eat these cold? I'm going to say no. They need to be warmed up. Not that it'd do you any harm cold, I don't think, because it's all pre-cooked. I just don't think it tastes very good because they're all in kind of layers, as it were, and yeah, it needs a right good mix. Anyway, there we go. Certainly looks very fresh, all the ingredients. Like I say, this is definitely one of them Presto meals from the looks of it. Anyway, let's get into it and see what we're saying. Definitely one of them Presto meals after tasting it. It's very fresh, nice crunch to the veggies, good quality chicken. Really like the texture of the noodles. They're not too overcooked. Problem, just lacks a bit of flavour. Just lacks a bit of flavour. I'm a big flavour guy. I'm a big flavour guy. I don't really get the katsu element. It just tastes like it's just a curry powder sauce, if that makes sense. It's got a bit of sweetness to it, which is what katsu should have, but yeah, it's just a bit bland. It just needs zhuzhing up. Let me add a little bit of Suzy. I'll give it one little blast with some Suzy in there, which I know will definitely improve it, but yeah, it needs like a bit of sweet chilli in it. Well, I've got a sweet chilli one here, haven't I? Well, that's in the microwave now. Sweet chilli one's ready to go. Much better with a bit of salt in it. Just needs a bit of seasoning. It's alright. As a grab on the go, is it decent? Yeah. Would I like a bit more protein? Yeah. Would I be gutted spending 430 calories on that for lunch? 21 grams? No, because I've got a pretty decent calorie allowance, and if I had something like a pre-made shake with it alongside it, next thing for 600 calories, I'm at 40 grams of protein, and that is a much more satisfying meal. Needs a little bit more in it, but you know what? It's not bad, and I don't mind reviewing something. Let me get this sweet chilli one out with an added bit of Suzy in there. I'm on the fence with it. I'm on the fence. Let me try the others. You know what? We'll do a full roundup at the end. So we've got the sweet chilli one here. The calories and proteins very, very similar. This is actually the lowest calorie, 403. The last one was 433. This is 403 for 22 grams of protein. Let me put the one I can't pronounce in the microwave while I'm sorting this one out. Now this one says it needs 3 minutes, so I'm going to give it 3.5. Anyway, very similar to the other one. Lots of fresh ingredients, lots of edamame beans, got peppers in here. I'm giving it a good mix up. I think the base and the veggies is all very, very similar. I think it's just the sauces that are slightly changing in them, because that's got peppers in it, this one hasn't. But other than that, I think it's all kind of the same. Right, let's give this one a try. That's better than the Katsu. Bit more flavour, not loads though. Again, lacking in flavour. That might just be a personal thing to me. Susie. Again, just needs a bit of salt. I'm never going to critique a company for that, because you're better off going low salt, because someone might be like, no, it's got more than enough salt in it. Or someone might be like, I can't eat salt, for whatever reason. And salt is something, whether you're in the office, whether you're at home, whether you're in the car, you can add a little bit of salt to something, can't you? So I'm not going to critique it for that. I do like the freshness of it, I really, really do. I still feel though the sauce is a little bit lacking. Do you know what else would be good? Again, a type of salt, and especially with it being kind of Asian Oriental sort of cuisine. If you're a regular viewer, you should know what I'm going to say. Pinch of MSG. Pinch of MSG in both of those would take them up a notch. Right. Let's wait for the next one, and then we'll do a full roundup. Right, we've got the last one here. Again, I can't pronounce it. This one is got the most protein. 429 calories, 24 grams of protein. Again, looks very, very similar inside. This one actually looks a little bit bigger. But yeah, I generally think they're just very, very similar with just a different sauce. I don't think it is bigger. Let me have a look. No, they're all 350 grams, which isn't the worst. I mean, it's not the best serving size, but it's not the worst. This one is kind of actually all, the noodles have all clumped together a bit. Now, let me give it a mix and I'll be with you. This looks like it's got the most sauce, and I have no idea what this sauce is. It's a pink sauce, is what it is, but I don't know if it's sweet. Has it got a spice rating? This is 2 chilies. The others are 1 chili. All right, so this has just hopefully got a bit more of a kick. All right, let's get into it. It's got a bit of heat, but not much else. Susie again. From memory, I think this was the issue with I can't remember what I rated the Presto ones, but I think this was the issue with the Presto ones. Like, they're not offensive. Could I eat a whole pot? Yeah, but at the end of it, I'm going to be a bit like, very forgettable. Anyway, let me give this one a taste with a bit of Susie on it. Now, a bit of seasoning that has brought out a little bit more flavour. And this has a bit more sauce in it as well, so there's a bit more going on, even though it is pretty damn bland. I can't deny that, I really can't. But just all right. They're just all right. And I've got to ask myself this question. You know, if I'm going to Aldi, and these are like a grab and go, so they're for an office worker, that, you know, they need pinging in a microwave. So, or there might be someone that, you know, like me, sometimes I go to the gym at 11, morning, finish at 12, just need a quick lunch, grab it on the way home, ping it in the microwave, stick it in your trap. I actually think out of the 3, that last one I've tried with a bit of salt is probably my favourite, because it's got the most sort of sauce in it. And it's just got a little bit more about it, even though it's bland, but they're all bland. Yeah? Need salt, they need a bit of MSG whacked in there, and that would take them to a bit of a better level. But they're forgettable. And I think I said this about the Presto ones. I don't think I'd buy them again. I generally don't. If they were like 400 calories and 30 grams of protein, so I was getting a bit, man, I didn't need to think about, you know, oh, I need to have a bit extra, or I need to add some extra chicken. Would that make me change the scoring a little bit? Of course it would. But for the calories, for the protein you get out of them, for the overall flavour, it's just a no. So the worst one was the first one, Katsu. 5.5 out of 10. Not worth the calories. Number 2 is the sweet chili one. That's a 6 out of 10. Not worth the calories for me. And the last one is the one I can't pronounce, which is a 6.5 out of 10. And again, I'm really sorry if this is Presto. Just needs a bit more. Needs a bit more protein and a bit more flavour for me to want to buy them again. So yeah, 3 in a row. Not worth the calories. We're back. Another day, another dollar. Well, another day spending dollars on food to review for worth the calories. Now, I did say at the beginning of this episode it might be a short one. It's not going to be. 2 reasons. Number 1, I realised the other day, after doing the 3 ALDI noodle pots, I was talking about them for 24 minutes. Don't worry, you've not sat through 24 minutes of me talking about those noodle pots, because I will have edited the video and it should be a little bit shorter. But anyway, it won't be that much shorter. How much? I have no idea, because this is now, and I'll be editing the video in the future, and you'll be watching the past. You don't need to worry. You don't need to worry. Anyway, another reason why it's not, you're on about Neil. I don't know myself. Another reason why it's not going to be a short episode is we're turning it into a noodle special. Noodle. We've done 3 noodle pots that were pretty rubbish. So I'm hoping the next 2 noodle dishes will redeem things a little bit. I've been to Food Warehouse, aka Big Iceland, and I have grabbed the MyProtein Creamy Prawn Linguine, which I've wanted to try for ages, because I love prawns and I love pasta. I don't know why I've not had it sooner. And also from Chopstix Noodle Bar. I've only ever had a Chopsticks once, and that was in the Trafford Centre. Anyway, there's a range of theirs in Iceland. I've grabbed teriyaki beef with noodles. Which one are we doing today? I'm going to do this one. They're both not bad portion sizes, right? But this is a biggie. 550 grams. I've had no breakfast. I've been to the gym, been training, been shopping, and I'm hungry. So I'm going to go for the biggest one. So let's start with this one. If this is rubbish, I only have a couple of mouthfuls, I'll do this one straight afterwards. If this is decent, this is my lunch today, and we'll do this one tomorrow. Dead simple. Right, for now, let's get the creamy prawn linguine in the microwave. Right, it's off. It says 7 minutes, give it a stir, 3 minutes, but everything looks quite separate in there, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do it for 5 minutes, give it a stir, 3 minutes, give it another stir, 2 minutes, give it another stir, because, you know, I do my own thing and I'm a microwave aficionado, especially after doing this series. Anyway, let's talk about some numbers. Well, what have we got first of all? Cooked linguine pasta in an Eat Lean cheese and mustard sauce with king prawns and topped with green beans, peas and spinach. You got a bit of elf in there, some veggies. You've got a nice creamy sauce, fingers crossed. You've got pasta and plans. And we are at 536 calories for 42.5 grams of protein and 17 grams of fibre. The numbers are unreal. That is one thing I will give this frozen MyProtein range that is in Iceland. The numbers for the majority of things are absolutely superb. Protein to calorie ratio, fibre to, not that we have a look at a calorie to fibre ratio, but if you go on the RDA of fibre, which is 17 grams, is 30 grams a day, this is over half your daily recommended amounts of fibre in one pingy dish, which is superb. I love prawns as a source of protein. They're amazing. There used to be like a myth years ago, oh, they're full of cholesterol, they're not good for you. No foods are full of cholesterol. We have two types of cholesterol in our body, LDL and HDL, right? And we need cholesterol to survive, all right, or to function properly. Certain foods raise LDL cholesterol, certain foods raise HDL. LDL is not what we want. High levels of LDL cholesterol leads to things like heart disease, blocked arteries, let me get my words out, massively increases risks of cancer. What raises LDL cholesterol? Lots of saturated and trans fats. So lots of fried foods, red meats high in saturated fat, butters, lards, things like that, right? HDL is good, healthy cholesterol and promotes heart health. And certain foods raise our HDL cholesterol. Prawns are one of those foods, so they're actually extremely good for us. So eat your prawns. Right, let's let this finish off, and then I'll be back and we'll see if the old creamy prawn linguine, and I have got high hopes for it, is any good. And here we have one very hot, creamy prawn linguine. Smells good. Plenty of sauce. One thing I'll always give, and this isn't the case of every single dish that they do, but a lot of these products, these are 2 for £8. So I've got this, and I've actually got a chili chicken and rice one. So the £4.50 each are 2 for £8. So they're not the cheapest, I'm not going to say that, but they're a decent sized portion. 550 grams. I like volume. It fills you up alongside protein and fibre. And whenever I make a dish myself, I always want it to be at least 500 grams, right? Nearly a pound of food, half a kilogram of food, however you want to look at it. That just works for me. So I've talked about this ready meals before. A lot of them are like 380 grams, 350. I've had some that are early 300s. And they just don't quite tick the volume button, irrelevant of calories, irrelevant of protein, fibre. Now, there is a lot of sauce in this, so I'm fully aware a good amount of the volume's down to a good amount of sauce, but it's still going to go in my belly and fill me up. Anyway, it's flipping hot. I'm probably going to absolutely burn my mouth off, but let's whack it in my trap and see what's what. Did I go through the numbers? Yeah, I did. 536 calories, 42.5 grams of protein, which is proper good, because when you get prawns in a ready meal, prawns aren't the cheapest source of protein, so they're normally a bit skimpy with them. But this has got absolutely plenty. Right, let's go. I don't even need 2. It's delicious. It's right up my street. Right up my street. Green veggies, creamy sauce, just works. And it's tasty. It's really tasty. You know I'm a bit of a salt fiend. Everything for me personally could have a little bit more salt. And this has actually got a lot of salt in it. 4.8 grams, which is nearly your RDA for salt. If you've got a good level of hydration and no issues around salt, you can eat a good bit more than that. I do. I eat about 10 grams of salt a day. But still, it is hefty on the salt front, but you don't need to panic about it too much. You know, if you can have one dish that's quite hefty on the salt front, then, and don't get me wrong, any sodium that's in this dish or any preservatives that are in there will go towards the salt. It's not like table salt that's 4.8 grams, which is why you don't necessarily get a salty flavour even though it's high in salt. But still, if you are worried about that, then you just need to watch your salt for the rest of the day. Everything's about averages, or, you know, it might even out. You might have 10 grams of salt one day, but 3 grams of salt the other day. Well, that's 6.5 over 2 days, and it's all good. Right, let's go in one more. It's delicious. You've got a thick, creamy sauce. Too many ready meals are watery. This isn't. Thick, creamy sauce. I love all the veggies that are in there. Really good amount of prawns and noodles. Good portion size. Tastes good. Like I say, for me, yeah, a smidge more seasoning wouldn't go amiss, but I'm not actually going to add any. That's just me being picky. That is a belter. And I love prawns and pasta anyway. I think it just works so, so well. Cannot wait to finish it off. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. Good numbers as well. Oh, it's a banger. It's an absolute banger for me. It's a 9.5 out of 10. Worth the calories. Right, last one for this episode of Worth the Calories. Keeping the noodle theme alive, we've got Chopstix Noodle Bar, teriyaki beef with noodles. So I think this is a fairly new range in Iceland. About a month or so ago, we went to the Trafford Centre and my niece dragged me to Chopstix. And it is basically a fast food Chinese place. It was all right. I'm not saying I'd rush back, but it certainly wasn't the worst thing that I've eaten. Flipping expensive though. It was me and my niece, and I think it was like 35 quid. Anyway, that's by the by. This wasn't that. I think these were about 4 quid each. Anyway, yeah, teriyaki beef noodles. It's nice to have a couple of dishes that aren't chicken. 3 chicken noodle dishes at the beginning of this episode. But we had prawns yesterday and beef today, so that's good. Calories, 504 for 32 grams of protein and 4.3 grams of fibre. So the numbers aren't overwhelmingly amazing, but they're not bad. Anything that's over 30 grams of protein for around that 500 calorie mark, I am happy with. Have we got a description? I know it's teriyaki beef, but I actually thought teriyaki was more Japanese than Chinese. It might be. Anyway, cooked noodles with cooked beef slices in a teriyaki sauce with peppers and onions. That's it. Dead simple. It's 8 minutes in the microwave. I'll be back. And here we go. 1 teriyaki beef noodles. Of course, absolutely newt to perfection. I did give it a stir after 5 minutes and give it another 2.5 minutes. So, what is it, Neil? No. It's a week. I was going to say it's a week of thick sauces. What I mean by that is yesterday, the sauce was pretty damn thick. And today, the sauce is pretty damn thick. Like I say, with a lot of ready meals, the sauce can be very watery. Anyway, this is 400 gram portion. Yesterday was 550. It was a decent portion yesterday, but there was a lot of sauce with it, and I didn't eat all the sauce. So I would say yesterday's portion was probably, in reality, maybe 450 if I'm going to be honest. But anyway, the Chopstix teriyaki beef noodles. It smells good. It smells really good if I'm being honest. Big thing is, how's it taste? Let's go. That is good. Yeah, that's good. That's lovely, actually. Sauce is thick. It's quite sweet, but it's got a bit of warmth to it. I like that. Might be a bit sweet for some people, but I like it. The beef's reasonably tender. It's got a nice crunch to the veggies. Noodles are a good consistency. That is a really tasty dish. Do you know what? If you're doing a bit of a fakeaway night, like, I'm going to eat all that for my lunch, but as a fakeaway, it might get a little bit sickly towards the end of it, because like I say, it is quite sweet. And it won't do for me. I've got a sweet tooth. But that as like a little side, you know, like as part of a bit of a banquet, would be really, really good. Just because it's a little bit different. I like that sweet. And like I say, it's got slight spice to it. Yeah, it's nice. Let's go in one more. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. Am I going to finish all that off? Absolutely I am. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would. The numbers are pretty decent. And it's nice having something other than chicken. in a ready meal. Worth the calories? Yeah. 8.1. It's a thumbs up. And there we go. That's it for the old noodle edition of Worth the Calories. It did not start off too brisk, but ended off all right, didn't it? 2 pretty decent ready meal options there if you need a little bit of convenience. To finish off with, what's my favourite out of the prawns or the beef noodles? Tough on that, you know. Although I rated the prawns very highly, they didn't get any better as I ate them, if that makes sense. The beef noodles did. They were delicious. I might even up the beef noodle score slightly and bring the prawn score down a bit, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, I'm going to finish off with the prawns at an 8.7 and the beef at an 8.7. They were both very, very good dishes. Anyway, get in the comments anything you want to try, anything you have tried. Do you agree, disagree with me? Let me know your thoughts. You might well hear my dishwasher rumbling on, so I will cut this short now. Anyway, make sure everything you eat is worth the calories, and until next time, boss your weight loss.